Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 4, the MGJ Engineering Brands Hatch Winter Stages, organised by Chelmsford Motor Club. It is going to be a fantastic day. This is going to cause a few problems early on, I think, because it's very, very cold, so the circuit is going to be quite slippy. The Rally School stage, renowned for being slippy at any circuit anywhere. What are our crews going to make of it? Could it put the cat amongst the pigeons today? It's the halfway point. It's still all to play for. Let's get straight out and see how they do.
Onto the historic tarmac of Brands Hatch and onto the stages then, and it will be Frank Bird and Jack Morton picking up where they left off before the winter break, leading the way after the morning stages and with a good advantage in that position as well. The pair were lucky though to get away with clipping a bank towards the end of the third stage. Thankfully for them, not causing any long-term damage to the car or, importantly, the timesheets.
Frank, another rally, another current lead. How are we feeling today?
Yeah, it's going okay so far. They're keeping me on my toes. It's only a small lead at the moment. Yeah, but it's so slippy out there. I'm just taking it easy, really, not many risks. So, yeah, keep up this afternoon and see where we end up. For
Neil Roskell and Andrew Ruffhead, it would be second place of our championship crews. They were certainly pushing as well, as you can see, lucky not to get caught out on this slippery, fast right-hander. They do take to the grass, but would keep their foot planted, getting away with it just. However, they didn't get away without making the same mistake as Bird at the end of the stage. Again, thankfully for them and us, because the battle was shaping up quite nicely. No damage.
Roskell, how are we doing?
All right, Mr. Taylor decided to come in front of me on the merge and put cones everywhere, so I was like, where do we go now? So we've got through. Yeah, it's still slippy out there, but we're doing all right. So yeah, just keep plugging away for now. I damaged the car before. Did you see?
Right on the live stream. Well done, we got it all.
Brands Hatch would be the first time we'd see John Griffiths and Tom Rogers this season. And indeed, for their first time out in the new car, things were clearly going well. They end the morning with third place overall.
It's apparently slippy. How are we finding it?
Quite good. It's only slippy around here actually, but the rest of the circuit, it's probably the changeover now from wets to dries. But yeah, first time in the car 2 weeks. Thomas has never co-driven ever, so running fourth, got to be pleased with that.
Barry Morris and Tom Hutchings had been struggling with a misfire on the Darien all morning. It wasn't helping their times. They were currently lying fourth in our championship leaderboard, but they were just over half a minute back from those podium positions up ahead.
How's it going today?
Yeah, we've had a misfire all morning, so it's just trial and error. We're changing different things each stage, but look, we're still here. So if it doesn't get any worse, we'll try and get a finish.
Tyre choice was the talk of the morning. It had been tricky out on the stages, and for Joshua and Tamsin Davey, they seemed to be struggling to make the right choice. The pace was good when it was working, however, it was being hampered slightly with a few small mistakes along the way.
This is becoming a bit of a thing, seeing you at lunchtime. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's very slippery out there, but it's good bit of fun. Really hard on tyre choice, to be honest. We've had a couple stalls and a couple spins. It's all right.
This weekend would see the first time out in the championship this season for another of our returning crew, Steve and Jack Tilburn. They were starting well with a 6th place position to end the morning. Very close on the times as well, with those two Darians up ahead. The rally hadn't exactly got off to the best of starts for Paul Moreau and Callum Cross, meanwhile. They get caught on this fast right-hander, putting the car onto the grass and into the barriers. Luckily, they were able to get going again, but it wasn't without some crucial lost time so early on in the day. They start to put in some good times though over the next stages, climbing back up the leaderboard to limit the damage and end the morning with 7th. No problems to report for Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones, keeping it on the tarmac. They were enjoying the stages as well, finding it slippery like many others, but they were keeping it out of the barriers, ending the morning with 8th place. For Nick and Sally Whale, it would be 9th. They seemed to be having a clean run so far. The times were matching that as well. Looking good for the pair so far. And rounding out the top 10 were Alistair, Ingles and Will Atkins, out in a new car for this weekend, which unfortunately didn't stay looking new for very long, shall we say. Another crew being caught out by the slippery conditions here at Brands and putting the car onto the grass and into the barriers. At least it was on the first stage. The pair could now start to play catch up. There were, though, a few other crews who would have slightly less luck. Darryl Taylor and Dylan Thomas arriving at the end of the 4th stage with significant damage to the front of the car. A disappointing way to end the rally when they were unable to get it back to service.
Looking at some of the classes then, and we would see Philip House and Nick Beaumont lying 2nd in Class C at this stage. But with class leaders Josh and Tamsin Davey back out in that Darien up ahead, it would be hard to try and gain on that 2nd place at the minute. 3rd in the class would belong to Lucy Wigley and Emma Cooper, the Clio pair having another good run this weekend so far. Having been unfortunately missing a few rounds, it would be so great to see Chris and Anthony Newton back out, and as usual they would be dominating Class A as well, enjoying some sideways action on the slippery stage in that Nova too. 2nd in the class, but a little way back on the overall results, would be Sam and Bailey Cox. They may not be fighting for the class lead, but they did have a really good advantage themselves in that 2nd place. And that lead would be over this pair, James Hardy and Nick Wilkins, 3rd in the class and a few places back overall in the Micra. Ryan Moore and Freddie Hewitt would be the only ones in the E1 class this weekend, but that of course wasn't going to stop them from really pushing. A little too hard in places. A big overshoot on the 2nd stage of the morning loses them a little bit of time, but thankfully with a big empty runoff to turn around in, didn't cause many issues. Ben and Andrew Wilkinson end the morning leading the way in Class B, even with a significant impact to the front of the car towards the end of Stage 3. Thankfully, close enough to the finish not to lose much time and got the car back to be repaired. 2nd in the class would be Alex Cannon and Alan Carfrae. The times were close, only 11 seconds between them at this midpoint in the event. And for Paul Sheard and Callum Young, it would be 3rd in that class in the MX-5. The gap was only 19 seconds, still close but a touch more time to make up for if they wanted to fight for that other class place. In the D2 class, it would be the lead for Ryan Connolly and Chris Allen. They too were getting a little caught out on some of the tricky sections of the stage. No damage done though, apart from maybe pride. And they end the morning with half a minute lead in the class. 2nd in the class would be Thomas Barlow and Robert DeBelder. Not quite fighting for the lead at this time, but still going very well and holding on to that place as well. For Keith Anglesey and Chris Pearson, it would be 3rd in the class. The BMW crew a few places further back on the results at this stage. In the MX-5 class, there would be just the 2 crews this weekend, with Paul Gorge and Thomas Pimlott leading the way with a good start to the stages. The lead in that class would be around a minute over Sam Gendy and Sam Bartlett, 2nd in the class and a couple of places back on the overall results too. So, with the morning stages complete here at Brands Hatch, here's a reminder of those overall and those class results as we cross the halfway point in the event, and indeed the season.
We're back out then onto the afternoon stages, and we'd see no change in the MX-5 class. Sam Gendy and Sam Bartlett still taking 2nd place in the MX-5 class at the finish. That of course means it's the class victory for Paul Gorge and Thomas Pimlott, continuing to put in some strong times to keep hold of that lead to the finish. In the D2 class, there wouldn't be any change either. Keith Anglesey and Chris Pearson in the BMW ending the rally with 3rd place in class. For Tom Barlow and Robert DeBelder, it would be 2nd, pushing the Civics still and setting some good times, but 2nd would be as high as they could go for this weekend. And for Ryan Connolly and Chris Allen in that Puma, it would be the class win, extending their advantage in the championship standings after this round with that victory as well. In fact, the top 3 here reflecting our standings so far after round 4. In Class A, we see third place still for James Hardy and Nick Wilkins. It wasn't maximum points here this weekend, but they do still hold a slim advantage at the top of the standings after this rally. For Sam and Bailey Cox, meanwhile, it would be second place in class this weekend, their first points on the board this season, so they weren't exactly factoring into the overall fight at this stage, but don't count anything out. And it would of course be the Class A victory for Christopher and Anthony Newton. 2 wins from 2 rounds completed, and would we have expected anything less? But unfortunately, with 2 rounds missed, it means that they were only as high as 4th in the standings for the season. Some work to do. In Class B, it would be 3rd place for Paul Sheard and Callum Young. They hadn't been having a clean run, that was for certain. A few moments along the way, shall we say, but they get to the finish, importantly, with that 3rd place and a haul of points with it. Second in that class would be Alex Cannon and Arlen Carfrae. A good advantage at the top of the championship leaderboard, and this result, well, they just added to it. But taking the victory this weekend will be Ben and Andrew Wilkinson, missing out on the previous round in December, so these points, well, they were a relief and welcome with it. 2 wins from 3 now for the pair. It could be a close battle going into the second half of the season, and that we would relish. In Class C, it would be 3rd place for Lucy Wigley and Emma Cooper. They maintain 2nd in the championship standings after this round as well. And 2nd in that class, as well as rounding out the top 10 overall leaderboard, would be Philip Howes and Nick Beaumont. 2nd this weekend, for the pair now with a 14-point lead in the class midway through the season.
In the rest of the top 10 places, it would be 9th this weekend for Seamus Morris and Giles Kelly. They were getting quicker as the event went on, and their best result of the season in the Darien. Another going well and increasing the pace as the day went on would be Ciro Carinante and Simon Coates. With some missed rounds and the non-finish, this certainly would be the best finish so far this season. There would be a place lost overall for Steve and Jack Tilburn as they slipped down to 7th place. But that is still not a bad end to the first time back out this season, and it was so good to see them joining us again. A massive happy birthday for Steve for last week. Rumour has it was a big one. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones kept themselves out of trouble, on the stages at least anyway, and end the event with 6th place overall and the win in the D1 class. Part of that reason for the win would be issues for Barry Morris and Tom Hutchins. They would eventually get back out after missing some stages, but that would be simply seat time and not for an overall result. Despite the day starting off badly, it would be a good end to the event for Alistair Ingles and Will Atkins, managing to climb their way up the results to end the event with a 5th place overall in that new car. Making a habit of getting to the end of events again now, it would be a fantastic 4th place finish for Josh and Tamsin Davey. They of course take the Class C win as well, being the highest placed rear wheel drive crew too. A great end to the event and adding to the championship tally. On to the podium places then, and it would be 3rd place for John Griffiths and Tom Rogers. This event being Tom's first ever time out too. Talk about a good way to start your co-driving career. Don't get used to it, Tom. They were more than happy with the result in the new car. Can you blame them? Neil Roskell and Andrew Ruffhead managed to keep themselves out of trouble for the rest of the event, managing to get another 2nd place. It keeps them in the lead of the championship at the midpoint in the season, and with a good 38-point advantage too. But for this weekend, it would be win number 3 for Frank Bird and Jack Mon. They were certainly able to push the car in all the conditions and get those stage times. And with a round missing from the score sheets, it would be a good fight in the second half of the season for the overall title. So with the 4th round complete and the midway point in the season reached already, here is a reminder of how the overall and class results looked here at Brands Hatch. John, Tom, what a way to get used to the new car and to get involved in the world of motorsport. I mean, there's a whole load of firsts today, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I came here and I said if I can run in the top 10, I'd be more than happy. So to come away with this is just, it's fantastic. It's been a brilliant day. Thomas, like I said, it's his first event ever in a rally car, and he's done brilliant. You know, it's not easy. It's not an easy job being a navigator, and he's done a brilliant job. And the car has been absolutely faultless, over the moon.
As a fellow co-driver, don't get used to this, coming out on an event for the first time and spraying champagne, because this is not how the dream is currently lived. There's a roller coaster involved, but for your first event, this must be a fantastic feeling.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and obviously first time out for John in the car, it's a good result for him, and I suppose we keep going now. That's it.
Absolutely. I mean, you've set the bar fairly high now in this new car, John.
Well, we've got Snetterton, Cadwell and Donington left, so we'll do those. I enjoy those tracks, love them. So yeah, we'll just see what we do. We can just do what we can do. That's it.
Another fantastic result for the season.
Yeah, we just keep plugging away these championship points. We've had a really good time today here at Brands. We struggled this morning, a few excursions on the grass and that, but
we saw none of them.
No, and I hope we edited them. But no, we've done well, haven't we, this afternoon? Got really down to it, and yeah, got our heads down and pushed on. And we set some good times towards the end, and we're here again. Good championship points, and that's what we need, isn't it? So.
First time here as well. Have you been here before?
No, it's my first time as well, so total strange things this morning, but it'd be the same for me going to Snetterton next as well. I've never been there, so onwards and upwards.
Huge congratulations again, gentlemen. A rally win again, more championship points in the bag.
Yeah, really good way to start the year. Yeah, it was a tricky day, long day, but didn't take any risks or anything like that. And we were on wets for most of the day, so last two stages went up to slicks, so we could have a bit more of an attack, and the car felt really good all day. So thanks to the team for that, and Jack, of course, next to me. So see what comes up next.
Exactly, excellent. Well, we're very excited to see what you can do this year. Another year, more experience under your belt as a team. It's only going to get better, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We'll just keep on plugging away at these things, just to keep Frank in the car, to keep him seat time in between his races and everything. So yeah, the plan for the year is looking fairly positive for bigger and better rallies like what we done last year at the back end of the last year in Monza. So we'll see what it brings, but it's great coming to do these events like this, because it's just an easy day for everybody, and it just keeps Frank's on his toes, so it's good going into his racing season.
And just like that, we are officially past the halfway point. Round 4 is done and finished. What a win for Frank Bird and Jack Morton, leading by over a minute going into that final stage. They're taking those vital championship points. Neil Roskell and Andrew Ruffhead getting that second overall for those championship points. Thank you to everybody who has been a part of today, the clubs, the organising team, the marshals, everybody who gives up their time. As per, we are very, very grateful. And we will see you very soon at round 5 at Snetterton.